Welcome, everyone. I'm Barbara Tien, and we are gathering again here at RootsTech for the fourth of our six programs during our project party at RootsTech. We designed these to be a series of very short little programs, each to check in and see what we're learning, compare notes, talk to each other as part of a community. Most of us here with our little bunny slippers watching RootsTech from afar as not at RootsTech. Well, we've been very lucky today to reach Denise Allen, who has been a friend and supporter to Project Kin and actually on site at RootsTech. So I feel like we're going to our on-site reporter. Today, she's more than just an on-site reporter. Of course, she is an active storyteller and a guide for many others writing their own stories, an published author and distinguished researcher, particularly in ancestry as it relates to ancestors in the Pennsylvania area. And she has been attending RootsTech, checking out the booths, but also attending courses, paying close attention to the latest, greatest, most insightful, and just darn interesting stuff happening on the show floor. So I'm delighted to have you join us today, despite the exhaustion. And if you follow her Instagram and Twitter feed, you'll see how many steps she's walked each day. Today, it's a paltry 12,000 steps. 16, 18,000, I don't know, 20,000, who knows?
Yeah.
It's been insane. Go ahead, please.
All right. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Here's my little badge. Pretend I'm wearing the badge. Yeah, it's a fabulous conference if you ever have the opportunity to attend in person. It is the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints certainly puts on like the show of genealogy with this conference, and I appreciate all that they do to serve the genealogy community for sure. So I came to RootsTech with an interest in learning what was going on with family history, what was going on with AI and family history. So I did put together a video for all of you, and I posted it to YouTube. So it's short, it's 7 to 8 minutes, but it'll give you a little overview of 6 companies that have integrated AI into their tools. And it explains how they do it or what they're doing. And so you can further check them out if you're interested. I myself am not committing to any one of them. I was just curious, like, what's going on. And I don't get any financial support from any of them either, so at all. So, you can check them out or not or whatever. But, I find this space very intriguing. It feels like the early days of the internet when people are like, what's a web browser? Which one, everything was AOL or online that way. And then moving to the internet was a big deal. So I will share a link to the video, but what I'm going to do is share it first here.
That's good too.
With you guys.
Fancy.
Yeah. All right. So I apologize for the it's lately edited, but here you
I'm
go.
here at RootsTech 2024, obviously a huge conference, and I am bringing to you all the vendors that are using AI to help people tell their family stories. I think this is the central thing that is going to be the future for us in 2024 and also into 2025. So enjoy this compilation, and I hope you reach out to them and get more details if you feel that they'll help you with your family history, because the most important thing we can do is to preserve those stories.
Hi, so we are Lore Books. We take family stories and turn them into children's storybooks, all with the help of AI in just a few minutes. All you'd have to do is record yourself telling a story like you would around a campfire to a family member, upload that to our software, and in just a few minutes with the help of AI, we turn it into a fully authored and illustrated book. So these are a couple of stories from my family history, right? About my nephew, how he got his name. All it took is about 5 minutes of time where I could, where I recorded or have my brother record a story. We uploaded it and it came together complete with illustrations. I can tweak this, I can edit this as much as I want. And when I feel ready for it, I can have it ordered and printed and the storybook arrives at your door. Yeah, we love telling stories. I'm a new father. This is my son James and my wife Kayla, and we are really interested in making sure that our family stories are preserved, especially at a younger and younger age. It's hard to get into kind of the classic family history. This is a way to bring that family lore to life.
At Storian, we help you turn your real life stories into a book. We're basically a ghostwriting company. We interview you for your stories, and we do the writing for you as well as the editing, and then we do the formatting of all of that into a book such as this. And why we think this is useful for family history or genealogy is because a lot of the times people spend a lot of the times in genealogy looking for records of their family members and whatnot, and what better way to preserve your family history than in a book. We also provide digital files and whatnot, so it could be easier to find online. And then the book, you can obviously pass it down to your family. So we came here to help people focus on capturing their own family, their own history, so that their descendants could, do their research, genealogical research, by looking at that book, and it'll make it much easier for them as well.
We allow to record live stories over the phone. You don't necessarily need a smartphone, just the line is enough. The way this works is you either get a scheduled call up to 3 times a week, or you can call in to record your question, record your answer to the question that you get. The answers are currently limited to up to 10 minutes. Afterwards, we take the recording, we transcribe it, we create a professional autobiography style paragraph, and we then use, once you build out your life story, you're then able to export it. And at the booth, we also give a pair of socks as well, as a bonus to our story box, the gift box. We do think that this makes for a wonderful gift for your friends, for your family, and yes, happy recording.
My name is Nate Mason, and I'm the founder of the website myancestor.ai. So what we do is we really help people connect with their family histories through ChatGPT-like platforms. We have an online platform where you can upload your journals and then interact with it. For example, this is my dad's journal from 2001 to 2006. It's 500 pages, and it's something that I'm probably never going to read, but ChatGPT and those type of large language models are perfect for taking this information, digesting it, and then giving you back examples. For example, I can go and ask it about what were we doing in the summer of 2002, and then it will give me a brief summary of what we were doing in the summer of 2002. And then you can share that with your family and friends. So what we're doing here is really enabling access, enabling people to better search through documents that they have about their family history and get quick little snippets of what they're doing, of what happened in their life based on ChatGPT type models.
So Story, as a 10,000 foot overview, what I like to tell people is we are the anti-a la carte of family history, where you don't have to have a subscription to access a newspaper and another one for census and another one for tree and another one for books and another one for military and another one for everything else under the sun. We've taken all those bits, the historical records, the family tree building experience, the storytelling, the group and social aspect, the storybook building, and the newspaper product, and put it all together in a one-stop shop. So you don't have to leave your website, you don't have to import it from different areas to do different research, and we've also made it incredibly affordable. So we have 300 million newspaper pages, almost 1 billion historical records, and growing right now. Storytelling, hardbound book building. Right now you get, for RootsTech, it's $99. You get access for a year. You get a 200-page hardbound book, which will have however many stories you can fit within that. 300 million newspaper pages, 1 billion historical records, storytelling groups, all those things, for $99, which is about what a lot of people charge just for a book, and you have to format it and organize it and bring everything in, it's crazy. So I would say at 10,000 feet, that's the best way I can put it. It's easier, it's simpler, and it's a lot less expensive, so we're accessible.
Well, I'm Jeff Wells. I'm the Executive Director of Emulate Me. We've been working on this a couple years, and in conjunction with Family Search, they've asked us to help them create more memories in the Family Search file. So utilizing AI, we've created the opportunity for people to create an emulation or an avatar of any member that they might have in their family tree. Now this means that a person can sit down and with the data that they have in Family Search or any of their historical records with other companies, they can take a picture, an audio file, a biography, autobiography, personal history, anything, combine all of those and then create that individual so that with that and with AI, stories and answers can be compiled to almost any question that a person would consider asking. This is an opportunity to leave a legacy for an individual long after they've left in an interactive and a creative way. I find that children love now interviewing me, interviewing their great-grandfather that they never knew, asking questions, because the more data that an individual has, the more likely it is that the questions that they will have and the answers that they have will be very interesting and perhaps even life-changing.
All right. So I hope you thought that was interesting. I edited that on my phone, so I know I can see. Oops. I'm getting commercials now playing. But the so the text didn't work out, so I can fix that. But I'll drop a link to the video in the chat if you want to watch it again.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I thought the range of products was so interesting in terms of what they're doing with AI and what companies are innovating on and trying in terms of serving us as their clients, consumers. And I was, like I said, I was really intrigued with what they were doing. The other, I think, big announcement, which a lot of you probably saw, was that Family Search is putting AI, generative AI, within all their products. So no matter, it's in the lab, what they call the Family Search lab right now, where you can try it, or it will be shortly. And when you go in there, you'll be able to ask it questions in terms of your research path and progress. And it will pull up videos from RootsTech in the past to help you. It will pull up things from the Family Search Wiki. It will pull up records that you can search. I mean, it is going to be a full self-service, just-in-time way to learn to do family history. And I'm really excited about that because I'm a big believer in just-in-time versus just-in-case in terms of learning. And I think they'll be able to provide a lot of contextual information for people given the size of their record collection and database. Ancestry didn't have anywhere near those types of announcements in terms of integrating AI. They keep saying that they're using it in terms of reading records and stuff like that. But I'm still waiting for those Lutheran records that they digitized, that they took images of 18 months ago. They still no sight of them on the website. So AI is really not helping them get them up there any faster. You didn't hear that from me. I'm just like, what is going on? You know? And other than that, you know, with the AI is the big thing. Family Search is just really, really into it. Because they feel like it can reach their goals of getting these trees done, you know, and getting them accurate and getting it to be easy for people to do versus a real slog. So
well, that's
yeah.
sort of a fun, that's fabulous. And thank you so much for taking the time to not only, you know, visit all of the booths the way you were, but to bring along the camera. I wasn't quite sure where you were going with having the video right there, but having the video there so that we can talk about it was genius. Very good idea. And very helpful.
I hope it gave you a little feeling of the vendor floor, of the floor.
I tried to keep my composure relative to there's a little product manager in me that has problems with other people's products sometimes.
Well, I shot a lot more video of the floor and I'm going to shoot some more. So when I do like you know, here's it's hard to pick though, like what are a couple big things from RootsTech,
Yeah. Oh, it's always
to
true.
cover, but Family Search, wins the day, I think, with most of their announcements. And MyHeritage made some big announcements today too. I think everybody has big announcements. But I do want to give people that feeling of, how big this conference is and how many people are there. It's really fantabulous.
So I know with these little 30-minute programs, it's very tight to how much time we have. You also went to a number of courses that you were doing. Were there some things that you wanted to comment on that?
Yeah, most of the courses on the sessions, and getting
Yeah.
and doing like family history, like publishing a book or compiling stories, they were really high level. So I really left feeling like I wish the person that did it, a lot of the people, let me put it this way, a lot of the people that presented those sessions do it as a service where they do it like one at a time for clients,
Right.
and talk at a high level about how they do that. I wish personally that the people presenting were more like they ran it as a course, so they gave you an introduction of how to do it, at a high level and could teach it.
Yeah.
But they don't offer it as courses. Yeah.
I see.
'Cause
As I think you and I have talked about before, this topic keeps coming up within Project Kin. And I think there's a session brewing that will bring together probably a panel to have multiple people talk about their insights and experiences and where the lines are drawn in terms of what kind of book you want to go about doing and how you want to do it and what those variables are. Things like publishing through the Amazon has some great advantages, but do you want to have your thing so that anybody else could read it and download it? There's just fundamental differences in how you go about it. It's not a question of not like my face and questions of what I think is good taste. It's a question of what are you trying to accomplish?
Exactly.
And so that's where a lot of that is. I'm resisting going into all of the product stuff. That's what's happening right here.
No, it's hard, right? Because it is a convention, right? So there is a vendor hall, right, of people selling products, because that's how the convention, partly how it funds itself, right? Because people go there and they buy the products, and then the vendors are happy, and the people that host the convention are happy because and all that. But yeah, it's interesting because I think this is personally, I don't think an AI generated family narrative is going to satisfy a lot of people, no matter how close it gets, to sounding like us or whatever. I think people still want a lot of themselves in that process of creating the book and or any publication around their family. So I don't know. A couple of us were talking about it over breakfast, and I always welcome any form of innovation. I think everybody that contributes a product into or a service into the community allows us to try it and experiment with it and adapt it, and then the next thing can be next thing can come in and innovate. I think that's just the way it kind of works.
It's funny you put it that way, because my experiences are always on the product side, and there's a little part of me that is deeply offended that something that feels like a bad idea has soaked up investment dollars, has soaked up the time of good engineers to go create and put time and energy into, when it's just wrong. And to my view, and like, this is my view, but to my view, things that are wrong are not in alignment with their users' interests. Things like stealing data, stealing data, stealing faces, stealing facial geometries. That to me is like wrong. And those I speak up for. Others that I just are not my taste, I get very uncomfortable with. And I think we're in a period, and I think this topic is something, if you were already chatting about it with people over breakfast, I think this is something we're going to be talking about for the next year, because it's not really a good and bad. all of family history and the way we were going about research is fundamentally changing. And things like we used to go and sit in churchyards and go through parish records. Now they're all digitized. That alone changed things. But you take that one level further, where you just ask, what do you want to know? Because we'll, let AI go analyze it for you.
Or make it up if it can't find something.
Well, there's that.
There's the, because I as he's mentioned something disturb you, emulate that one that the guy that spoke about emulate. I'm like, this disturbs me. I wrote my comment down as this is weird to create a artificial version of an ancestor. And then because I don't even know what they knew. So how is my kid going to ask them questions that are, and it bothers me. And I guess it's partly just me. It bothers me in the same way I think it was My Heritage started a few years back with the turning photos into moving.
Right.
Like we can make your ancestors move and smile. And all the ones I've seen, I've just gone, that's weird. Yeah. That's really weird. And that one, it struck me as the same.
These are fundamental questions that are affecting all kinds of fields, and I argue that we should separate the layers, because the first layer is just if our kids can start with what we did, right, the research that we did, they start there, well then, even then, the experience of genealogy research and storytelling is different. But if you add in this layer of AI on top of that, well, it has already happened. Understanding what the implications are is really interesting. So I'm happy we talked about his projects.
Well, and people can produce whatever product they want. I'm always reminded of Google Glass, right? Like when Google came out with those glasses and you were supposed to record your entire life, right? Like, it lasted what, like 6 months, and then went away. So, any of these products that are being made for genealogists or family historians, whatever we call ourselves, if we don't pick it up and adopt it and use it, then it doesn't go anywhere. Nothing happens with it. I
would argue that there is wisdom in the crowd, yes, as far as what they'll be willing to buy and pay for. And the crowd told Google that's a bad idea. But big companies with deep roots are that Google Glass did not go away. The technology of Google Glass has been rewoven into all of these other things. And that may be true for little tiny companies, but and sadly, a little tiny company doesn't get money and tries to succeed with a great idea and goes nowhere and dies, and no one ever wants to try it again because clearly it's going to die. When in fact, it's a good idea. I'm just saying, anybody. And that happens all the time in ideas that don't quite make it and then fail. That's what makes these shows so interesting. That is so fabulous. What do you wish you were good? What are you looking for now for the balance of the show?
Oh, for the balance of, oh yeah, so tomorrow's Saturday. Well, Kristen Chenoweth is the keynote tomorrow. So my husband's here with me. I think he will be standing up on his chair and singing along. He's waving his arms right now. He's preparing. She's one of his favorite actors. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to contain him, honestly. That's my big worry. No, it's fine. So there's a couple there's even more sessions. I know this is surprising. There's 18 things to pick from in any given time slot, every time. So there's even more on family history tomorrow. I hope to strike gold there. I am also looking forward to catching up with, I had dinner with Connie Knox, also has a YouTube channel, Jarrett Ross. So he and I have a conversation, to have too, in terms of his YouTube channel and stuff. you know, because a lot of the YouTubers, I mean, they really are sort of storytellers and educators, right? You
Yeah.
know, you're just doing their own thing. Yeah, so you know, that's really my tomorrow. And then my husband and I are doing a hike in a
Oh,
park
good.
if it doesn't snow at
That's
sunset.
beautiful.
So we're supposed to get a snowstorm, so we'll see what happens. But we thought we'd end up, I know, Barbara, we're walking. I know, we're walking. We're walking some more. We're walking.
Hey,
Yeah,
once you're in the 10,000, class, you can do anything, and
I
kudos
know.
to you.
Oh, and all of us virtual attendees are envying your
Yeah.
steps you're getting in, because I'm looking going, okay, I'm going to be walking because we got a lot of snow coming down here. I'm going to be walking around my kitchen for a long time tonight
Yeah,
when I finally get offline,
just
because I got a lot of steps to get in still.
think of me as the Forrest Gump of genealogy. I'm just walking around. That's what I tell myself. I just laugh at myself about it. But yeah, I just enjoy walking, you know, so I'll walk to this session, walk to that session, you know, walk to see this person, you know, it was fun.
That's
Yeah.
excellent. Well, why don't we close the formal portion? We can start the recorder doing its thing and have that
Okay.
out online shortly, and open up the conversation to our community here for questions. Before we turn off the recording, is there anybody that wants to pop in a question to be recorded? Okay, go ahead.
I'll go with one. I was
There
going
you
to ask
go.
the chat. I was going to ask you, Denise, if you had attended. Hang on, I got to go back to Friday to get the guy's name here. Was it 4:30? Nope, that's not it. That's a good one. The fellow that where is it? Sorry, I changed off there a minute. AI and genealogy, trouble ahead with Thomas McEntry.
I did not attend Thomas's talk. I did have breakfast with Stephen Little, the second one. Stephen's here, you know, he's the NGS genealogy guy. I am helping him with content creation. I know that sounds ironic because he's like does genealogy stuff. He thinks I'm a content machine. I think he's
You
just
are.
I'm like, Stephen, you're smart, you know what you're doing. Yeah, so he and I have been talking about, you know, we both agree that the impact of AI on genealogy hasn't even begun. You know,
No.
Yeah.
we don't even know, you know, what it's going to do, and we want to keep a positive attitude about it and always kind of point people towards the light, you know, of what good it can do to help, you know, in like your general tasks, and try to stay away from the doomer talk, because, you know, it doesn't help anyone to talk about worst case and the horrible things that could happen. You know, I mean, it's always the case that horrible things could happen.
Let attorneys do
and
that.
there are horrible people that do horrible things, but we are going to use the technology as it exists now for good, to help us, you know, just little things like I provided the tip that you can take any YouTube video, pull up the transcript, put it in Claude, and have, you know, Claude.ai, you know, give you a summary of anything on YouTube. I think that's great. You know, for me personally, if I'm going through a lot of content and I just want to take notes on it, it's a pain in the butt to pause a video, type out my notes, you know, unpause and type some more. Whereas if I have Claude do an outline or do the highlights, then I can take that and then just add in what I want, you know, too, on top of it. For myself. So stuff like that, you know, saves me like 30 minutes. Well, 30 minutes is a lot to me. You know, I could be walking in that time. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I love time savers like that. And I think that's a bonus. Now, if I took Claude AI and generated a transcript and then turned that into my own video, you know, that's like cheating and copyright infringement and unethical and all that stuff, right? Like that's horrible. Yeah. But you know, people can, you know, people can do whatever. Yeah.
Thomas McEntry is you know, he's done a lot of talks on a lot of different subjects, and he does a lot of talks for genealogy societies and whatnot. So I think the conversations about where is this leading and where are we letting things happen is still a good one. The doom and gloom, I mean, come on, we heard the doom and gloom over the internet too, over Bitcoin and everything else. I do believe in the wisdom of crowds, but I also believe in the work of good lawyers. And That's their job in many cases, is the endless cases of what can go wrong,
Right.
and whether it's in legislation or in
Yeah, look what's
contracts.
going on with, yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting. Look what's going on with DNA, right? Like, it's like, yeah, DNA can be used as a positive, can exonerate people. It can be
Right.
used as a negative where, people, it gets misused, right? Where law
Right.
enforcement uses it to,
Right.
entrap someone or,
Right.
something at the same time. So,
and there are fundamentals to things like data and understanding privacy and that sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. So,
Okay,
is that the
let's
last
go ahead and
Okay.
I suggest we go ahead and stop the video, so
Okay.
we get our 30-minute recording instead
Okay.
of edits to it. I promise I will take your YouTube video. I have it right here, and I'll pop it right embedded into the summary, so it's
Okay.
all right there. And open it up for our very patient, polite, mute off, video off